The air was heavy in the bustling markets of ancient China. Merchants called out their prices for silk, spices, and porcelain, but behind the chatter was a darker, quieter whisper. People weren't just trading in fabrics or rice that day. They were talking about something far stranger, something that makes us shiver today. Imagine stepping up to a wooden stall, expecting bowls of soup or herbs, only to find a physician offering you a clay cup filled with something you'd never dare put to your lips. A thick, yellowish mixture. The locals called it jiu huang tang, literally yellow soup. And yes, it was made from exactly what you're thinking: human waste. Now, before you recoil in disgust, here's where the story takes a turn. This wasn't about desperation or madness. This was science, or at least what ancient people believed was science. In an age when medicine was ruled by herbs, roots, and mysterious balances of energy called qi, human waste wasn't just filth. It was thought to hold hidden powers. Doctors in ancient China believed that illness came from imbalance, poison, or heat inside the body. To cure poison, you needed the ultimate opposite, and what, in their eyes, was more powerful, more filled with the essence of life and digestion than what the body expelled. They believed the body transformed food into a concentrated medicine. And so, under certain dynasties, human waste was carefully prepared, boiled, and administered as a treatment. Sounds insane? Perhaps. But people swore it worked. Records suggest it was prescribed for food poisoning, severe fevers, even cholera-like illnesses. And strange as it may seem, modern science has since uncovered that gut bacteria, yes, the very microbes inside our waste, can sometimes cure infections that nothing else can. In fact, today in cutting-edge hospitals, fecal transplants are still used to save lives. So, in a twisted way, those ancient doctors were not entirely wrong. But here's the part nobody likes to talk about. It wasn't only medicine. In rural areas, when food was scarce, human waste was sometimes used in desperate experiments with survival. Farmers saw how crops flourished when fertilized with night soil, as it was called. The rice grew taller, the vegetables thicker. In a world where hunger was constant, people started to wonder, if the earth feeds on it, why can't we? Picture the candle-lit huts of peasants. A bowl of rice on the table, thin and nearly empty. Outside, buckets of night soil collected from every household. To us, the thought is horrific. But to them, it was about survival. For some, mixing even a trace into their food wasn't shame, it was necessity. For others, it was about following tradition, doing what the elders said had kept the family alive for generations. And then came the magistrates, the law enforcers of dynasties like the Han and Tang. They weren't always against it. In some villages, it was tolerated. But in others, where epidemics spread quickly, punishments were issued. There are records of people being fined or shamed publicly for unsanitary consumption. Imagine being dragged into the square, accused not of theft or treason, but of eating something the rest of the village found horrifying. The psychological power of this story lies in the divide. For some, it was salvation. For others, it was sin. For the elite, who dined on rare meats and spices, the idea was unthinkable. But for the poor, it could mean the difference between life and death. Now here's a twist. This practice wasn't hidden in shame. Some respected physicians documented it openly. Li Shizhen, the great Ming Dynasty medical scholar, wrote about treatments involving waste in his famous medical encyclopedia, the Compendium of Materia Medica. He didn't shy away. He explained it carefully, noting which conditions it supposedly healed. To him, it wasn't dirt. It was medicine. So imagine the cultural split. A Confucian scholar frowning at the idea, insisting on moral purity. A Taoist physician, meanwhile, praising it as harmony with the cycles of life. A starving farmer thanking the heavens for even the strangest remedy. And a sick child, given a dose of yellow soup, surviving a fever that would have otherwise taken their life. It sounds like madness. But behind the madness is a chilling truth about human survival. We will do anything, believe anything, if it means another sunrise. Today, we laugh at it. We recoil in disgust. But maybe if we were in their shoes, hungry, sick, desperate, we wouldn't laugh at all. Maybe we'd understand. Maybe we'd even drink the cup. So the next time someone tells you that history is boring, remind them that in ancient China, a doctor could hand you a prescription that was quite literally unthinkable. And yet, for many, it wasn't just thinkable. It was life-saving. Because sometimes the strangest traditions hide the deepest truths. Survival comes first, dignity second. And what we call disgusting today was someone else's miracle yesterday.